Hello and welcome to episode 34 of the Grocery Guru. We're here with that guru, who is Andrew Grant. Andrew, how are you doing?
Morning, Darren. Yes, very good. You well?
I'm very well. It's Friday. What's in our post bag? What's on your mind? What's the world talking about today in the world of grocery?
Yeah, it's. I think yesterday all you could hear about, other than England playing Germany next week, was HFSS. It doesn't exactly slip off the tongue. It's nothing to do with a train line about to go past your house, but it's. I think it's a pretty big deal, actually.
All right, so HFSS, let's treat me like an idiot. No comments invited. HFSS, what does that mean?
Okay, I won't get you to guess. High fat, salt and sugar foods. So for people in the industry, the impulse category, basically. Some pretty serious legislation coming down the tracks and actually potentially will be enforced on the 1st of April 2022, which by my reckoning is 279 days away.
It is.
And if the legislation goes through as I've read it, seismic changes to all those foods that would be classed as high fat, sugar and salt. So we're talking fizzy drink, we're talking soft drinks, cakes, biscuits, chocolate, crisps, snacks, even processed ready meals and stuff like that.
Wow. All right. So let's do what our Americans say. Let's unbox this with you. I hate that term. But let's unbox it. So HFSS is about salty, sugary foods. I think I do know a little bit about this. You said it's the biggest change in enforced dietary changes since the Second World War.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, I'm sure we all remember, Jamie Oliver and the Turkey Twizzlers. The government over the last 10 years has made a lot of changes, encouraging and in some regards forcing manufacturers to change formulations. Yeah. So to reduce the amount of salt, to reduce the amount of sugar. There's obviously been the watershed advertising bans. Yeah. Not allowed to advertise these products to kids or in schools. Yeah. So it's sort of round the edges, but what they're proposing for next April, as far as retailers and suppliers are concerned, goes one hell of a step further, and that is to ban the citing of those foods anywhere other than on the shelf, their home shelf. So you can't have sweets on checkouts. A lot of the retailers have made that decision themselves, but that will be illegal. No citing of sweets or these HFSS products anywhere near the checkouts, within 2 meters of the entrance. And then probably the biggest, you won't be able to volume promote these products. So you'll be able to price promote, I believe, but you won't be able to do bog-offs, extra frees, twofers. And if you think of the impulse category, certainly back in my day, something like 70% of a brand's volume in those categories went through on deal.
So let's bring that to life. If I'm walking through the central aisle of a Tesco or a Sainsbury's and I see the gondola end and it's packed with M&Ms with a little round man with a funny hands, yeah. No more.
From April the 1st, 2022, potentially not, unless it's a straight price promotion. But then would it be big enough to get on end?
And then also secondary citing, though, so it will be allowed.
That's a very good point. It's but yeah, I'm not sure if secondary citing counts as promotional, but yeah, but potentially that's a very good point. Actually, you have to promote off shelf.
Okay, so and how does this fit in with the sugar tax on soft drinks that we saw a while back?
Yeah, that's separate. This is about the merchandising and promotion of a massive slug of the store. And this is going to affect all stores over 2,000 square feet.
Oh, okay.
All symbol and member stores. So this isn't just the big supermarkets. This is everybody basically other than the independent mum and pop shop.
So this will affect a Spar.
This will affect Spar. It will affect All Days, Today's, Nisa, the works.
Okay, and your sense, because you know a lot of people in the industry, have they wrapped their heads around this yet?
A few have. I mean, a few of the big brands that we talk to in those categories, they have, and they're very focused on, you know, engaging with their retail customers to get space redesigned. Right. Because if, as you say, you can only promote off shelf, all of a sudden, think of the volume that goes through, as I said, those impulse lines on end.
Yeah.
If they're not going to lose a shed load of volume, manufacturers and retailers, they've somehow got to shift that amount of volume off shelf. So do you suddenly need 50% more shelving? And then even more interesting, what do you put on those promotional ends? Because, you know, the fact that it's called impulse means that actually we quite like the stuff. It might be bad for us, but we like it. Are we going to buy bog-offs of, you know, whole wheat grains, cereal bars, and, you know, lime-infused natural mineral water? I don't think so.
So there is a positive for all the other categories who may find now that they've got access to space they never got access to before.
Yeah.
And they've got access to promotions they never got access to before.
Yeah. But do they sell in enough volume?
Probably not. Okay, good point. And then I guess this is also bricks and mortar plus digital. So if there is, and let's come back to my example of the M&Ms with the funky hands, the round red guy, digitally, if that was a banner on a Tesco shopping site, it probably won't be allowed anymore.
No, that was the big news yesterday. Digital advertising or online advertising will be banned. Right. Manufacturers will still be allowed to have their own M&M website or Coca-Cola website, but yeah, they won't be able to do pop-up banners on a Tesco or a Sainsbury's shopping site promoting a promotion.
So this law, bigger than GSCOP, bigger impact, do you think, on the grocery world in the UK?
Yeah, because GSCOP is after the event. GSCOP only comes in if a retailer inadvertently or deliberately breaches it. No, this is like changing the speed limit from 70 down to 40 on a motorway.
Yes.
In my view. Yeah, for the impulse category, it potentially halves it.
And you mentioned earlier 287 days or something, because we came up with some sort of countdown thing. But actually, that's days. In working days, we can take a whole bunch off that. So we're probably down to about 180, 190 days before this thing happens.
Oh, yeah. In terms of working days, where are we now? We're effectively July. In the old world, the world stopped in July and August. Yeah. So you've got September, October, November and December busy for Christmas. So you've got September, October, January, Feb. You've got 5 months. So 20 weeks, 140 days less. Yeah, you're probably down to 100 working days or less.
And that's just got me thinking about, would you just bring to life Easter for us? Easter eggs. What's happening there?
Well, they'll still be able to sell Easter eggs, but will it be allowed on front of store pallets, which traditionally you walk into a store just prior to Easter and you can't move for pallets of Easter eggs. So potentially no pallets of Easter eggs, certainly no 3 for 10 or buy 2 for £5, which is how the stores have promoted Easter for the last 10 years or so. In theory, it would be single priced Easter eggs in shelf.
Wow. Yeah. And would you just expand? I don't know if you've got the knowledge, but let's try. In terms of products, so Easter eggs, obvious, M&Ms was my example. What are some of the more obscure ones that we're not thinking about?
Well, it's probably easy to say what isn't covered. So what's counted as a staple?
Yeah.
So olive oil, corn oil, lard, butter, margarine. That's all very high fat, but by definition, those will be excluded because they count as a staple item.
Right. Oh, okay.
Right. But anything that is processed, so the minute that becomes a cake, a biscuit, a chocolate bar, a fizzy drink, a processed ready meal, it falls under the HFSS legislation. And there's a whole government website. If anybody's watching and is worried whether their products fit in or not, there is a government website with a calculator to work out, you know, if your combination of fat, salt and sugar breaches the guidelines.
Okay, we'll put a link to that at the bottom of this video for people. I'm just aware we're coming up on your time. So HFSS comes, we think, 1st of April. My last question is, G-Scott was quite fuzzy as to which products were in and which products were out, included, excluded. I guess this is going to be similar, where we'll get those grey areas around the edge where people think, oh, that's not in, but it is.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be as grey as G-Scott. I think they will be pretty specific. Now, there will always be, you know, remember when VAT was brought in, there was the Jaffa cake debate. Was a Jaffa cake a cake or a biscuit? And McVitie's actually won the fact it was a cake and didn't have VAT. Okay. Even though it's covered in chocolate and full of jam. Now, there's going to be the odd product like that, but, you know, I think when you look at that government website, they've been pretty comprehensive in what constitutes an HFSS product.
HFSS. All right. Last bit, if you would, Andrew. I know we've got a webinar coming up that we're partnering with Wanzel. Would you just give us 10-20 seconds on that, and then we'll let you get back to your day?
Yeah, I obviously, you know, I think there'll be a lot of people out there who hopefully when they see that will have a OMG moment. What is this? Does it affect my product? What on earth do we do? Yeah. So yeah, we've you know, we're putting together a webinar with Wanzel, the shop outfitting people, just to help suppliers through this. Well, as I said, I think, you know, from a car analogy, it's like suddenly getting on the M1 and realizing you can only do 40. Wow. Which in actual fact is all you can do most days, but hopefully you get the analogy.
All right, so we've talked to Andrew about HFSS. He's our grocery guru. If you have more questions, there's a few links at the bottom of the video. Please get in touch. Andrew, thank you again. Have a good Friday. Take care.
Take care. Bye.